And here we go. All right. Hi, I'm Brad Dunn, the Director of Men's and Women's Swimming at University of Lynchburg.
Hey, I'm Jon Duncan, head swimming coach at Southwestern University in Georgetown, Texas.
All right. And we are starting up a little series of interviews here. We're calling Coffee with the Coaches. And right now I'm working with my French press with some Lynchburg brewed coffee and out of my University of Lynchburg mug. John, what you got over there?
Brad, I got some pecan coffee here and my Southwestern mug here. So
Look at that. So
it's quite delicious.
excellent. Well, what we were looking at doing, and John and I have talked about for a long time, is spend some time talking as coaches and get into know some of the things that he and I are doing, but also friends of ours across the country, looking to connect with people that we've known before, and then meet some new coaches along the way. Mostly in the swimming world, but maybe branching out a little bit as well into to other sports. And we feel like now is an important time to do that as we enter a period of uncertainty with the COVID-19 pandemic causing a lot of disruption in our community, especially within the college community in swimming, and a lot of our spring sports partners having their seasons canceled. Our nationals in D1, D2, and D3 getting canceled in swimming. So a lot of disruption and change right now, and so I think that's kind of the first topic that we want to touch on in this series. And John, maybe kind of talk a little bit about your position at Southwestern, and then you tell everybody about what you guys are doing right now to manage your team culture and continue to build that strong group out there.
Yeah, so I started Southwestern 9 years ago. I was previously head coach at Rhodes College in Memphis, Tennessee for 6, and my girlfriend at the time, now my wife, thought it'd be a good opportunity to move near Austin, Texas. I had my eye on Southwestern. For a long time before I came, I knew it was just a great place to be, and Texas swimming is high school clubs is dominant. I knew there would be some great recruits to pull from. So, no, I mean, we built the program and had a lot of great assistants along the way. You, Brad, being one of them, and a lot of my assistants been very successful and very proud of that. But yeah, I mean, right now what we're doing is first thing I did was send out an email to the team and just let them know that, hey, I'm going to be there for you guys, and try to do a lot of communicating. And so we've been doing a lot of emails and text, and just texting everyone. I think I've done that. And what I try to do is just text 2 or 3 alumni and just try to, check in with them and see how they're holding up. Yeah, Brad, I mean, it's just crazy times where, luckily for us, we finished our conference championship meet, but unfortunately, a lot of programs, including us, we had Jesse Stovall qualify for the NCAA meet in the 50, 100, and 100 fly, and wasn't able to go. But then canceling all the spring sports. But we just didn't know the effect of what was to come at certain times, right? And everything was being pushed back a week, and then I think it was very hard for our students just to not really say their goodbyes and coming back after spring break and packing up and leaving, and now everything's online. So, but just we're trying to be supportive and still trying to communicate and trying to be positive, Brad.
Yeah. I think that was something that you and I, when we were coaching together, pushed a lot of positive thinking, and something that is our foundation coaches, right? And kind of get into what we're doing here, but starting with my history of where I came from with coaching is that I was a swimmer at University of Mary Washington, teammates with a great head coach there, Justin Anderson, and he and I were teammates there, and both kind of worked into college coaching careers. My first start was at Rhodes College in Memphis, Tennessee, with Charlie Bamey, great guy, great friend of ours that hope to get on here at some point. Then had an opportunity to get my MBA, work for a business, coach part-time, but I think John was one of the guys that really reached out with the opportunity to be full-time assistant, and get back to a career that I'm very passionate about, and made the great decision to go out there and join you, John. Wish I could have stayed longer. But, it was a great learning experience, and hopefully for both of us, build the program there and continue to work with those great student athletes. And then the opportunity to start the program at University of Lynchburg arose, and was very gracious to get this chance to do this. And so for the last year and a half, built the program, had a year to recruit, and just finished our first season here at University of Lynchburg, and looking to carry a lot of the traditions that we've learned with you and with Charlie and other programs, carry that here and build some of our own. And, you talk about reaching out to your alumni. We have a few from the 60s and 70s, but a little bit different base. A lot of it is with our current team, and managing them right now, and reaching out to be another resource for them. Right? Talk about how being a part of a college team has so many intrinsic benefits, and I think now is one of them. We've got a great network of family to reach out to, and we set up at 5 o'clock call every day, where our team gets on and just kind of chats through a webcam call, no agenda, nothing specific, and give that as a chance, but also kind of using some social media tools as well to update people on how they're using this time. Obviously, online classes are the focus right now, and then comes our fitness and making sure we're working out. But while we're at home, what else are we doing? And a lot of people are learning new hobbies, getting into reading some good books, and and growing themselves as a person, but also professionally as well, which are some of the things I've been doing. John, you've been reading any good books out there? Anything lately could come up for you?
Brad, I have wife and I. We have 2 toddlers. It is tough right now just to even pick up really the laptop and do this podcast right now. But you can see I'm out in my garage, and
yeah, what's that?
And,
you got something lit up behind you there. You growing?
Let me show you guys here real quick. We have this is also, I think, right here. So my kid's named these chicks here. So Brad, we were running out of eggs, and I decided to buy some chicks, and hopefully in the next, I guess, I thought it was gonna be a couple weeks, but it actually takes about 6 months for a chick to become a full hen and then to lay an egg. So we're looking at maybe in the fall that maybe I'll ship some eggs your way.
I'll just come out and get them myself. Don't worry about that. You got a good, but to be clear, John's got a great big backyard, and I know once they're hens. You had some chickens when I first met you, in your chicken coop out there in the backyard. So we get Farmer John back on it. He's an Indiana guy, so we can figure that stuff out. So
it gives us something to do, especially with the kids, and they like coming out the garage and looking at the chickens. And then I guess in 2 weeks we'll put them out in the coop, and then have our daily chores. And but yeah, Brad, going back to your history, and when you first came on board, it took me about 2 or 3 weeks to really evaluate you, and then I don't know if you remember this, but I told you, Brad, like, you're ready to be a head coach. I wouldn't be upset if you left Southwestern after your first year, and I was okay with that. And the opportunity at Lynchburg was too good to pass up. And what you've done over there this season, is nothing but amazing. And just talking to you, the type of student athlete you have, and the culture developing right now is something that it takes coaches 5 or 6 years to develop that culture, that type of program. And so I guess my question is, in your first year, what were some complications of building that culture, but also, how did you implement that in such a fast pace? So maybe 2 questions there, like at a fast pace, implement culture, but did you have any student athletes that it took a while for them to buy in?
Yeah, well, I appreciate those nice things that you had to say about me, John, and kind of trying to rub my ego a little bit. But a lot of that did come from spending really about a solid year and a half growing things out there and working together and continuing to talk weekly. And you were a great resource last year when I kind of arrived on campus, and as far as swimming goes, it was just me, and didn't have any of my assistants yet, and was new to a lot of people on campus explaining the sport of swimming. and getting into recruiting. And it was a balance, right, where we wanted to obviously bolster the roster and have numbers of people, but the most important thing we looked for was, do you want to be an NCAA athlete? Do you want to be a college swimmer? Do you want to be a Lynchburg Hornet? And I think that for any program, that's the core of the most successful people. It's not necessarily the talent, it's not necessarily the background. It's that drive, because that's what's going to get you through from some 5 a.m. workouts. That's what's going to get you through, those days in October where, the initial zeal of the season has started to wear off. And that was the core quality that we told all of our recruits that we were looking for. And I think that a little bit of it is luck and getting a chance to talk to some great people, and then earning their trust. I told our team when they got to campus that they put a lot of trust in me, that the vision that I shared, and then eventually Rachel Spalding joining my staff, and then Aaron Green joining my staff, and Donna Hodgerton part-time as well. We have this vision as a program, and they trusted us that that's what we were going to implement. So we said that we would dedicate ourselves to work as hard as possible to make that the day-to-day. And it's got to be a balance of things. And we use positive energy like you and I talked about, but we also implement a lot of just engagement practice, where we do fun stuff. Our test sets have got some creative stuff to it. We did one of my favorite things we did this year was relays, where you had to swim a length of the pool, hop out, and find a word in a word search, and then swim back. Throw some stuff in there where you still can get competitive and race, and then know when it's time to buckle down and do the hard sets and the hard practices. So it was a mix of finding the right fit in the student athlete. It was a mix of keeping things engaging and putting that effort in as a coach. And then I think the underlying fact to all of that is we're able to do that because of the great people here at University of Lynchburg. Starting with my peers in athletics, but going all over campus. Our dean of students, and working into our admissions office and our professors. It is very much a family atmosphere here, and it's what I love about this place. And I think what was able to help us be successful right away.
That's great to hear, Brad. And so I guess what is one advice you have during this quarantine? And let me go through. This is my these are dangerous. These are the Reese eggs, and I try to keep down to 1 or 2 a day. These are the mini ones, not the big ones. The big ones seem to have a little more peanut butter, which are delicious, but these are good. Right? What is your go-to candy? Or
oh man, vices here.
Yeah,
I don't have them close by. I didn't know you were gonna put me on the spot, but Aldi has these hazelnut cookies that man,
okay.
so I got to avoid getting them. I purposely avoid that aisle sometimes when I go to Aldi, my favorite store to shop.
Well, maybe the next podcast we do here is we do our weekly vices, and things may change. After Easter, which we're still in quarantine. These will be, I guess, on discount, which I'll probably get some more of these, but it could be something else. But
yeah, well, I think that I've always loved to cook, and that's something that I think is a good. You get stressed out with during the middle of season, workouts, competing, and that's always something that I like to lean on to just kind of center and spend some time building, cooking, and working on something without a screen, right? So many screens in our life.
mm-hmm.
But do you have anything that you've been trying to hone in on while you've got a little more family time and time there at the house?
I think I talked to you about this before, but this is just a uncertain time. But we kind of look at the positives, and for us, my wife's home now too, and I'm home, and the kids are home. We took them out of daycare last week, a week and a half ago. But it's just really a time where we're really together nonstop as a family, and we get our little breaks where right now I'm in the garage, and this is kind of my home gym, my office, and then my wife Mindy will get out and she'll kind of run or do her daily walks. And so there's some things we're honing in on family, but
We lost connection with Jon
we're
a little bit.
trying different things. Okay, you there?
Yep, we got you
Yeah.
there.
How about now, Brad?
We're good.
Okay.
Got you.
Where'd I lose you? Again, out in the garage here, Brad, and the connection is not the best, but we're a little spotty here and there. But where did I leave? Where did I?
I think we got pretty much in with
Okay.
especially with our family, and so I think that's been just that's something that I hear a lot from our swimmers and from other people out there, because this is while we are trying to use this as a chance to make the most of our situation. You don't want to glaze over the fact that there are people really reeling from this. Primarily those that are sick and unwell, and the families of those people. Those are the people we think about the most, and then also really thinking about those that are financially affected by this. And I think that it's an important thing to remember, and as coaches to keep in perspective. And I know that you and I have talked about that, and we, as we kind of wrap things up here, definitely want to send our regards to those people, and continue to find ways to help. And so, as people see this and share our Coffee with the Coaches show that we've put together, please let us know as some initiatives that we might be able to help other communities and do things like that. So always keep a mission of service in mind as well. And I think one of the things that hopefully get a little taste of who Jon and I are today, but we're trying to keep these pretty short, not going on a Joe Rogan 3-hour podcast length.
Yeah.
Trying to keep everything 10 to 15 minutes. We hope that this gets shared, and that we can catch up with some of our old friends and coaches, but also meet some new ones along the way. And we'd love to talk to you and share some of our ideas, share a cup of coffee with you wherever you are. And excited to take our show going forward. And Jon, you got anything to say as we conclude here?
No, I think just be grateful for what you have right now, and be thankful, and be safe out there in these uncertain times. We're going to get through this, and it's sharing things like this, these podcasts and social media clips, and being positive. We can really make the most of it.
That's awesome. Good. Well, I know you can find me on Coach Brad Swim on Twitter and Instagram. And Jon, you got your personal coaching one set up yet, or we work on that for you?
Not yet, Brad. Not yet.
We'll get that going.
We're working on it.
All right. Well, I appreciate you all watching and checking in with us. Look for probably the next episode we're going to talk a little more coaching and then start to have some guests on. So appreciate it. Hope you had a good cup of coffee with us today, and we'll talk to you all soon.
Cheers, guys. Take care.